Most people think they can do more in a single day than they actually can, but they often don't realize just how much they can accomplish in 6 months. 6 months, that's what we're diving into today. How you can completely change your life over the next 180 days. Why focus on 6 months? Let me explain. A whole year feels too far away to stay motivated, and a single month is usually too short to create real change. But 6 months, that's the sweet spot. It's enough time to see huge progress, but short enough to stay excited and motivated. Isn't that something? Here's something that always amazes me. Most people spend more time planning a vacation than they do planning their actual lives. They'll spend hours looking at hotel reviews, but won't take half an hour to sit down and think about what they want their future to look like. Isn't that wild? But you're not like most people. You're here right now because a part of you is ready for something different. Let me ask you something. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing today, where will you be 6 months from now? Same job, same income, same problems, same excuses. Here's the truth that might hit hard. What you don't change, you're choosing. Think about that. The great thing about a 6-month plan is that it creates something I like to call realistic urgency. You don't have time to waste because 6 months will come and go quickly, but you still have enough time to create real results. It's the perfect middle ground. Let's now look at some core ideas for personal transformation. Success leaves behind clues, and through the years I've learned that extraordinary results don't come from doing thousands of things. They come from doing a few important things over and over again. Practice creates skill, and doing things over and over leads to success. The first step to changing your life in 6 months is getting clear on what you want. You have to be very specific. If your goals are unclear, your results will be unclear too. But when your goals are sharp and specific, your outcomes will be sharp as well. Remember this, clarity gives you power. When you know exactly what you want, the world has a strange way of helping you get there. Most people can tell you what they don't want, but struggle to say what they do want. They can complain about their job, their health, or their relationships for hours. But if you ask what they'd like instead, they're not sure. That's why we begin with getting crystal clear. Here's your first task. Tonight, take out a sheet of paper and write down what you want your life to look like in 6 months. Be detailed. Don't just write, I want to be happier. Instead, write things like, I want to raise my income by 40%, read a dozen books, lose 20 pounds, and start my own online store. Do you see the difference? The second key to transformation is your personal philosophy. This is how you think about the events in your life. It's not what happens to you that shapes your future, it's how you react to what happens. You can't control the wind, but you can control how you set your sail. Here's something important to understand. Success isn't some magical thing. It's simply the result of doing basic things consistently over time. But here's the challenge. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. Reading 10 pages of a good book every day, easy to do and easy to skip. Saving a small amount of money each week, again, easy to do and easy not to. Now let's move on to the third important idea, who you spend time with. This one is big. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Write that down. Over the next 6 months, you'll need to pay close attention to who's around you. Some people you need to love from a distance. That's the truth. There are 2 types of people on your journey. Those who lift you up and those who bring you down. Your mission is to spend more time with the people who lift you up and less time with those who don't. It really is that simple. Let me tell you something powerful. Most people only use about 20% of what they're truly capable of. Why? Because they've never made a solid decision to live at a higher standard. They're just trying to survive each day instead of learning and growing from it. That's a big difference. The fourth key to changing your life in 6 months is to start keeping track of things. From today onward, start writing things down. Track your progress. Record your lessons. Take notes on what you learn. Even small changes in your daily routine can create big results over time. Here's an example. If you read just 10 pages of a good book each day, that adds up to 1,800 pages in 6 months. That's about 6 or 7 whole books. Do you think your thinking might shift after reading the wisdom from 7 great books? Of course it will. Here's another idea that can change everything. Success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. Over the next 6 months, your main goal should be working on yourself. Work harder on you than you do on your job. Now let's talk about investing. Not just money, though that matters too. I mean, investing in your growth. Here's a simple formula. Formal education will help you earn a living, but self-education will help you build wealth. Let me ask you, how much have you put into your personal growth in the last year? Most people won't think twice about spending $100, 0 cents at a nice restaurant, but they hesitate to spend the same amount on a course or a book that could help them grow. That's strange, isn't it? Over the next 6 months, you need to start putting money into yourself. Books, courses, workshops, coaching, whatever helps you grow. Think about it this way. If someone is where you want to be, they probably know something you don't. So learn from them. The 6th key to transforming your life is understanding how small steps lead to big changes. I call this the miracle of steady progress. When you make small, smart changes every day, they add up to something big. Let's break it down. If you get just 1% better every day, in 6 months, you'll be nearly twice as good as when you started. That's the magic of building up slowly. Most people wait for the right time to make a big leap, but real success is built from hundreds of small, smart moves made over time. Now let's look at the 7th key, goal setting. I know you've heard about setting goals before, but let me give you a new perspective. Most people don't dream big enough. They base goals on what seems safe or doable, not what they truly want. For the next 6 months, I want you to set goals that feel a little scary. If your goals don't make you a bit nervous, they're too small. But here's the trick. Break these big goals into small daily tasks. Success comes from what you do all the time, not just every once in a while. There's something else that matters a lot, your surroundings. Your environment can either push you forward or hold you back. In the next 6 months, you must shape your environment so that it helps you. Clean up your workspace, organize your home, create a space that makes you feel ready to take on the world. Here's something that stuck with me. You can't change your final destination in one day, but you can change your direction. That means you can decide tonight to make choices that will lead to a totally different life 6 months from now. And trust me, you'll be glad you did. Success isn't about having the most resources, it's about being resourceful with what you already have. In the next 6 months, stop focusing on what you don't have and start using what's already in your hands. That shift changes everything. Next, let's talk about the 8th key, standards. Your life will always match the level of standards you set for yourself. Raise your standards, and your life will rise to meet them. Drop your standards, and your life will follow. Over the next 6 months, raise your standards in every part of your life. Don't settle for average in your relationships, health, income, or work. Expect more from yourself. Aim higher. People tend to live up to what they expect. If you expect the bare minimum, that's what you'll get. But if you expect greatness, you'll push yourself harder and achieve more. So raise the bar. Now let's talk about daily habits, your rituals. What you do every day has more impact than what you do once in a while. Over the next 6 months, build habits that match your goals. All right, here's one that can completely change things. Wake up 1 hour earlier every day. That gives you an extra 180 hours over the next 6 months. Imagine how much you could get done with that time. That's more than 4 full work weeks. Here's another idea about time. Don't just count the days, make your days count. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. What makes the difference is how you use them. Learn to control your time and you'll control your future. Finally, let's look at the last key, accountability. When you know someone else is watching your progress, you do better. That's a fact. Over the next 6 months, find someone to be accountable to. It could be a friend, a coach, or a group. Share your goals. Update your progress. Celebrate your wins together. Here's something interesting about how people are. We'll often try harder to avoid letting others down than we do to help ourselves rise. Use this understanding to your benefit. Make promises to others that will push you to follow through. Let's talk about something very important, the power to bounce back. Over the next 6 months, you will experience challenges. That's not being negative, it's just being real. The trick isn't to dodge setbacks. The real key is to recover quickly. People who succeed aren't those who never fall. They're the ones who get back up just one more time than they fall. The 11th step in your transformation is something I call the power of focus. Here's what I've come to realize. Where your focus goes, your energy follows. In the next 6 months, you need to be very clear about your top priorities. Don't spend your time on things that don't really matter. Don't just be busy, be effective. Let me tell you something that can change the game. Motivation is what gets you started, but it's habits that keep you moving. So over the next 6 months, work on creating habits that will help you long term. Don't depend only on motivation. Rely on self-portrayal. Motivation is like a warm bath. It feels good, but the feeling fades. The 12th step to your transformation is something I call the power of celebration. A lot of people wait until the final goal to celebrate, but that's a mistake. In the next 6 months, celebrate small steps forward, not just the big wins. Celebrating your progress gives you more drive to keep going. Here's something useful about success. Success leaves signs. Pay attention to successful people. Read what they write, listen to what they say, go to their events. Over the next 6 months, become someone who studies success. Learn from people who have already done what you want to do. Let me tell you something deep about personal growth. If you want things to change, you must be the one to change. If you want life to improve, you must improve. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. Don't wish things were easier. Wish you had more strength. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish you had more skills. The 13th part of your transformation is the power of giving. Because success without giving back feels empty. In the next 6 months, find ways to help other people. The more good you do for others, the more valuable you become. Here's something that might surprise you about wealth. How much you earn often depends on how much you grow. If you want to make more money, you need to learn more. In the next 6 months, invest in yourself. Learn new things. Get better skills. Grow your knowledge. Increase your worth. Let me share a strong truth about change. A lot of people think others are better than them and forget their own power. Over the next 6 months, try to be better than the person you were yesterday. That's the only race that matters. The 14th key to your transformation is something I call the power of decisions. People who succeed usually decide quickly and stick to their choices. People who fail often take too long to decide and then change their mind too fast. In the next 6 months, learn to make firm decisions. There's something powerful about decision making. Every choice you make today shapes what happens tomorrow. The decisions you make now will decide where you'll be 6 months from now. Choose actions that your future self will be proud of. Let me share another deep truth about success. Success isn't a place you reach, it's a path you walk. In the next 6 months, just focus on going in the right direction. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. Progress leads to happiness. The 15th step in your transformation is the power of thankfulness. Being thankful turns what you have into enough. In the next 6 months, keep a journal of gratitude. Every day, write 3 things you're thankful for. That's 540 moments of thankfulness. Here's something interesting about the mind. What you appreciate tends to grow. Over the next 6 months, be thankful for how far you've come. Be thankful for the tough times. Be thankful for the chances you get. The more you practice gratitude, the more things you'll find to be thankful for. Let me say something strong about personal growth. Change is always going to happen, but growing through it is a choice. In the next 6 months, choose to grow. Choose to get better. Choose to move forward. The decision is yours. And the best time to decide is now. Let me end with this thought. 6 months from now, you will arrive at some place in life. The question is where? That answer depends on what you decide today and what actions you take tomorrow. The next 6 months of your life are hidden in your daily habits. Remember, life doesn't improve by chance. It improves by change. And right now, today, you have a chance to make choices that will change your life in the next 6 months. Don't wait for the right moment. Take this moment and make it the right one. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with action. Start today. 6 months will pass whether you take steps forward or not. So Ask yourself, where do you want to be when those 6 months are over? Make these next 6 months meaningful. Make them count. Make them stand out. 6 months from now, you'll be telling one of two stories: a story of action and results, or a story of waiting and regret. The decision is up to you. Let me end with this thought. Everything you need to build an amazing life is already around you. The knowledge is out there. The strategies work. The opportunities are waiting. The real question is, are you ready to take the next step? Start today. Not next week, not next month. Today. Take what you've learned and use it. Put these ideas into action. Stick to the plan and watch how your life changes in ways you didn't think were possible. Life will give you whatever you truly ask for. If you ask for average, you'll get average. If you ask for greatness, you'll get greatness. In the next 6 months, ask for the best in everything you do. Don't settle for less than your full potential. And remember, these next 6 months can be better than the last 6, but that won't just happen by luck. It'll happen by your plan, your effort, your choices. Take charge, take control, take that first step. Thank you all. Go forward and make the next 6 months the most powerful 6 months of your life. The future belongs to those who get ready for it today, and today you've taken your first step.